Hi guys, this is Vanel coming at you with a StarCraft audio commentary, and today I'm going to bring you the losers match of the MSL round of 32 Group B. This is going to be Cal versus Hyuk, so we're going to be seeing a Protoss versus Zerg. I'm not sure what map this is on, but I can tell you who I think is going to win. Hyuk, as you know, is a very poor player. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Hyuk is not very good. It's absolutely shocking that he made it into the round of 32 to begin with. Whereas Cal is an excellent player. Cal is a very creative Protoss player, one of the Protoss Dragons, in fact. He is known for both his creative play and his sort of tricky builds, his interesting builds. And so we're going to see Cal, I think, walk away with this game rather handily. There's Hyuk with some rather surprising wins lately, but I don't think they're going to do much for him. And Zerg, might I remind you, is Cal's best matchup, so I don't think Hyuk has much of a chance here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're off. Again, I'm not sure what map this is going to be played on. We'll have to see. It looks like this is going to, in fact, be Destination, and it looks like Hyuk is the Zerg in the upper spawn location, while Cal is the Protoss in the lower spawn location. Colors aren't really important, seeing as how both players are playing as two entirely separate races, so it'll be pretty easy to keep track of them, I think. As I was saying, I think this is going to be a pretty interesting game, but I think Cal's going to have a big advantage, and I think Cal is going to walk away with this pretty easily. Cal lost in his previous game to Luxury, which was also something of a surprise for me, but if Cal loses this game, it'll be even more of a surprise to me, because there's absolutely no reason he should. Zerg is his best matchup, and he's a good player, you know, and he's very skilled. A lot of people at SC2GG.com really like Cal. If you're not familiar with SC2GG.com, that is the website that these commentaries are associated with, and that I'm associated with. If you haven't been to SC2GG.com yet, go in and check them out. Pop in on the IRC, pop in on the forums, and say hello. You know, a lot of really great people there. Anyway, back to the game. It looks like Hyuk has gone for an 8 or 9 pool, gone for a very early spawning pool nonetheless, whereas Cal has gone for the forward fast expand, putting his pylon down there. I'm almost sure that's what he's going to do. And meanwhile, we're going to be seeing quick speedlings from Hyuk, so Hyuk is going to try and get an early advantage. I don't think it's going to work, though, because Cal is going to scout this. He's going to see that the spawning pool and extractor are going up first thing for Hyuk, and so he's going to put down cannons as fast as he can. And those photon cannons are going to have warped in long before Hyuk will have been able to do any sort of attack. And I think this is actually not the best Zerg for build on this map, on Destination, especially on two-player maps. I think that knowing that the Protoss player is almost certainly going to be going for the Forge Fast Expand, I think it might have been a bit more advantageous for Hyuk to go for a 12 hatch. I'm not sure. I'm not a Zerg player myself, but I have seen many Zerg versus Protoss games on 2v2, or excuse me, on two-player maps. And generally, this is what happens whenever the Zerg player goes for this build, unless the Protoss player fails to scout them. It looks like Cal is going to have those 2 photon cannons down. He's going to be secure against any sort of Zergling attack early on. And these early Zerglings are not going to pay off for Hyuk, so I think that was a weak opening on Hyuk's part. I'm not sure that was very advantageous for him. I think he should have gone for the 12 hatch, and he didn't. But, you know, whatever. Hyuk's the pro player, and I'm not. But Hyuk, as we know, isn't the best pro player around. So it looks like Hyuk is getting his second hatchery down now. So we're not going to be seeing something unusual from, like, fast lair or anything, one base lair. In the meantime, it looks like Cal is setting down that Nexus at his natural expansion. So we are seeing the Forge fast expand for him. It is going to be in full swing by the time Hyuk gets his lair going. So we're going to be seeing a fairly standard PvZ game here. Nothing unusual as of yet. Wow, nothing like the last game, Lita versus... who was that? Lita versus Luxury on this very same map, actually, where we saw some fantastic, interesting play from Lita. That kid is so Gosu. That kid is so pro. He is going to go so far in this Star League, I think. It looks like Cal is getting down his gateway, and looks like he is worried about a Zergling run-by, so he is going to put down a third photon cannon. I think that's wise. I think Cal is better safe than sorry. He lost his first game in this set against Luxury, another Zerg player, so I think he's going to be cautious in this game against Hyuk, despite Hyuk's reputation. Hyuk doesn't have a lair going up. Instead, he's going for a third hatchery at that base in the 2 o'clock position. So we'll see if that third expansion ends up paying off for Hyuk in the long run. It looks like Cal, meanwhile, is warping in his cybernetics core. So we aren't seeing anything drastically unusual for any of these players yet. It looks like Hyuk is getting his lair down, so we are going to be seeing lair tech from him soon. And I'm guessing we're going to be seeing the Spire and the Hydralisk Den. I'm guessing we're going to be seeing that 5-hatch or 6-hatch Hydra build that's been so popular with Zerg players lately. I'm not sure if Hyuk is going to be able to successfully pull it off. We'll have to see. But that build has been really popular amongst the Zerg players lately. Savior demonstrated how powerful and effective it could be against Bisu, of course, in Group A, where he won unexpectedly in Game 1 of that group. That was an absolutely epic game. All of you should check it out on my account if you haven't already. It's just an absolutely sterling example of two rivals, classic rivals, facing each other down. It looks like Cal is getting up a starport as well as his second extractor, that ever-essential second gas that is so critical for Protoss players. And I think we're going to... Cal is going to need to expand a second time, and this is what, really in games like this, what really seems to be the deal breaker for Protoss, is if Protoss can secure that second expansion or not. If Protoss can secure that second expansion, then they'll be in a very strong position to take the game. Whereas if the Zerg player is able to prevent the Protoss player from taking that second expansion and is able to keep the Protoss player inside their natural, then the Zerg player will just be able to macro uncontrollably and will be in a very excellent position to take the game. It looks like Cal is maneuvering those Zealots around those Zerglings of Hyuk's in the middle of the map. I don't think neither player is going to really commit with those, but it looks like Cal, in the meantime, has got a Corsair out, so he's going to scout the fact that Hyuk has a 4th hatchery as well as a Spire going down. So we probably are going to be seeing that 5-hatch Hydra build supported with Scourge to take out the Corsairs. And we are seeing the robotics facility going down for Cal, so we're going to be seeing most likely Corsair Reaver from Cal, which is a very powerful, very scary build. And we're seeing 5 hatcheries. Yes, we are seeing the 5 hatchery build. So we're going to be seeing 5-hatch Hydras from Hyuk. That Overlord of Hyuk's is going to get shredded by that Corsair of Cal's. Hyuk with nothing in position to defend. Looks like these Zerglings of, or excuse me, these Zealots of Cal's are going to move against these Zerglings of Hyuk. Those Zerglings, Hyuk's going to need to pull them back. They're not going to be tremendously effective. It looks like Hyuk is looking to set up a spore colony or two to try and defend his overlords from those Corsairs. And is he getting a 6th hatchery? That might be a 6th hatchery from Hyuk at the 1 o'clock expansion. I'm not sure. The observer will have to mouse over it again. And interestingly, no, that's actually a sunken colony going down for Hyuk. The robotic support bay is down for Cal, so we are going to be seeing those Reavers coming out soon now. Both players just kind of maneuvering around in the middle of the map. Hyuk with those Scourge out, but it doesn't look like they have a whole lot to Scourge right now. I haven't seen how many Corsairs Cal has. I've only seen 1 Corsair at a time for Cal. Looks like Cal is warping in a Citadel of Adun as well, so we're going to be seeing leg enhancements for the Zealots, of course. Leg enhancements very important for combating the mass Hydralisks that we're going to be seeing from Hyuk.